She fantasizes about being rubbed up on by Siegeween, who, again, looks like a child. It reads as extremely fetishistic to me, which is a problem when the people that she's fantasizing about look like children.
He could only have gotten that idea from Benjamin Netanyahu. That's it.
Okay, guys, all jokes aside, before we get into it, please, for the love of God, do not harass this person. Leave her alone. Don't send her death threats. If you go ahead and send this person death threats or anything like that, you genuinely need to go see a doctor, and they gotta check your brain, bro, because, like, no matter what she said, at the end of the day, it's just fictional characters, and she doesn't deserve to get death threats or this amount of hatred that she's getting at the moment. But regardless, I wanted to sort of talk about this video because this is a perfect example of why we need to sometimes gatekeep Genshin and other gacha games from a certain audience.
These women are nearly naked now. And not only does that make me mad and uncomfortable from a standpoint of being a woman who feels objectified just by looking at these designs.
Say that again.
And not only does that make me mad and uncomfortable from a standpoint of being a woman who feels objectified just by looking at these designs.
The fact that she's getting offended over fictional women having revealing skin and revealing designs is just so weird to me. I don't understand it. Like, I'm not gonna go ahead as a man and start feeling uncomfortable because in certain games there's jacked men who are essentially butt naked. Like, for example, in UFC or in wrestling games, like, the men in these games are basically naked. And why would I feel offended by that as a man? I don't understand it. But, you know, I guess that's just her opinion on this. So at the end of the day, it's not that deep. But I think a lot of other people think like that as well. And they think that just because fictional women are objectified, this somehow relates to real life objectification of women, which is just not the case. If someone is unable to understand the difference between fictional women having revealing designs and real life women being objectified because of their body or because of their skin, they have a serious problem, and those two things are completely different. Fiction does not immediately translate to reality. Wait, one thing I just realized about the video is that the timestamp is literally titled "A Headfirst Dive into Misogynistic Fanservice." Now, when we look up the term of misogyny, we see that misogyny is the hatred of, contempt for, or prejudice against women. It manifests in various ways, including unequal social roles, discrimination, sexual harassment, and violence. Now, I would really like to know, how does fan service in Genshin have anything to do with real life misogyny? Oh my goodness, bro. This is what I mean, bro. These people are just spamming buzzwords to sound smart and intelligent, and then you actually look it up and it's just complete bullshit. Like, this doesn't make any sense in itself. This entire title for this timestamp doesn't make any sense. But whatever, man, it's not that deep.
And that's not even mentioning how she literally fights by falling on her ass. When you are playing her, she will fall and her ass will be facing the camera for multiple seconds before she gets up. And your eye is naturally drawn there because of her bright pink tail against her black skirt.
And then when she gets up, she'll like dust herself off and be like, "Owie, that hurt! Shut up!" And then we've got Nefer and her whole like clones thing, and the clones are like her servants, and she poses with them in sexually charged ways. Like, she's holding this one's face, and this one is laying in her lap. Like, I don't have to like spell out the way that this is incredibly fetishistic, right? I mean, Nefer literally does the stripper crawl across the table toward the camera in her trailer. She's meant to give femdom.
You can't eat pizza.
Why not?
It's bad.
Why?
Because it's like pretty bad for you.
Well, what makes it bad?
Oh, yeah, no, it's like probably one of the worst things you can eat.
How come?
Because of like the ingredients in it.
Which ones?
These women are not real and do not have the autonomy that we do. They are purposefully manufactured to be bait for the male gaze.
Bait for the male gaze. Okay, this might be the dumbest shit I've ever heard. I don't know why this term even exists, but it's not the first time I've heard it. They always say that. And let me just make it clear that, yes, you know, maybe they are bait for the male gaze. You can call it whatever you want. But fact is that it doesn't matter. Literally, it doesn't matter. The same way that there's characters that are bait for the male gaze, in the same way there's characters that are bait for the female gaze. It's the same thing, right? It's just that Genshin has more of it for the male audience for this game, because guess what? You know, that's the actual target audience that they have for the most part.
Skirk makes me mad in a similar way because they literally took an already very revealing outfit and made her more naked when she made the transition from NPC to playable character.
I don't understand all this constant complaining and bitching about the fan service. They never do it for the male characters. I've never seen anybody play Lava in Deep Space and then complain about them having abs and being jacked and being fucking naked or something. Nobody does that, right? The people who play Love in Deep Space want their fan service and nobody complains. However, when it comes to Genshin, they start complaining about the women being revealing. Why are they acting as if fan service suddenly became a problem over time? We already had this, and just because they show a lot of skin now, or maybe even more than they did then, that doesn't mean the game is getting worse or anything like that. It's always been a part of it. And now they're actually just starting to really target the specific target audience that they have. And they want to stick to that more and more. Like, seriously, these characters could be naked, literally butt naked, and it still wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter. These are not real women. No real woman is getting objectified. This has no impact on real life. Just because women in these games are objectified and show skin, that doesn't mean that people who play this game will now start treating real women as if they're objects. That's just not how it works. And the same thing goes for people that play games like Love and Deep Space. Complaining about fan service in these gacha games with anime girls is the same thing as if you went into a bar and then complained about the amount of alcohol that they have, or as if you went into Call of Duty and then started complaining about the fact that there's guns in it. Like, fan service is a core part of these games, and it makes absolutely no sense to complain about it. And now I want to show you guys the part which really shows how illogical the thinking of a certain audience is, right? I'm just gonna play it.
And in fact recognizes her for the creepy freak that she is. First of all, she clearly has absolutely no respect for living things that are not traditionally human.
Now, first of all, if this was actually true, even if this was true, right, it wouldn't matter because none of these are real people, okay? So no real person is disrespected, so even now, it doesn't matter.
She keeps asking to touch and pet the Melusines as if they are not whole people.
Once again, it doesn't matter. They are not real, okay?
It's especially creepy because the Melusines are made to look like children.
Holy shit, bro. Okay, I don't know if this is like rage bait or if this is like serious, but in what universe do siege queens, what the fuck am I saying? In what universe do Melusines look like real kids? How? Where? I don't see it.
Having an adult character who is high-key obsessed with them and can't treat them as the people they are was a fucked up move on Hoyo's part.
No, it wasn't. Like, I don't see the problem. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, even if she actually was obsessed with these Melusines, as you say it, and even if she actually was this weirdo, it wouldn't matter because the Melusines are not real. There is nothing bad that comes from this. So I don't get this complaint.
They literally make a point to emphasize the humanity of the Melusines and how they had to fight to be accepted in Fantasian society. And now we have a playable character who we are supposed to think is cute, harassing them and treating them as though they are pets. It's disgusting.
Man, leave Linnea alone, bro. She just likes Melusines. They don't look anything like real kids, and they're not real. Man, I don't know what her obsession is with Linnea, but leave her alone, bro. She just likes Melusines, man. That's all. It's like it's not that deep.
Her trailer is sickening for the same reason. She fantasizes about being rubbed up on by Siegeween,
Bro, I'm really gonna...
who, again, looks like a child.
Where the fuck have you seen a child? Please name one child that has ears like that, this type of hair color, this type of eyes, this type of mouth, this type of face shape, and this type of clothes. Name one kid that actually looks like Sijuin, because I don't recall ever seeing a kid that looks like that. And this is not even about being rubbed on in a sexual way. The cutscene just shows that she likes being cuddled
rubbed on,
or just being in the presence of them. This doesn't have to be sexual, right? Like, to me, when I look at this, this just looks like a cute animation of how she cuddles them. This doesn't have to be sexual. And I don't get why these people immediately have to make everything about PDFs and everything has to immediately be about sexuality and this and that. Like, dude, you can just look at it as like a cute, innocent animation. Like, when I look at this, I don't start to immediately think about, oh my goodness, she wants to get robbed on by Sijuin. Like, bro, what are we doing? I'm also not here to just bash on her and to talk down on her. I just want to use this video as a perfect example of how flawed and illogical the thinking is and the logic of these people, and how we really need to start protecting the core identity of the game from people like this, because we don't want to get to a point where even these games start becoming censored. And this is seriously something that needs to be talked about way more, because when people start thinking that fiction translates to reality, we start getting into a lot of trouble and everything starts becoming really, really messed up. And I really don't want this to become a trend on a large scale. This is really, really bad, and this will have very negative results if this keeps going and if people keep thinking that fiction, for some reason, translates to reality.
They are animated in revealing outfits and drawn in uncomfortable poses and written into compromising situations on purpose.
Yeah, and guess what? It doesn't matter, man. The target audience for this game likes that. Like, what is this? Why are we complaining about a gacha game being a gacha game? I just don't understand these videos, and this is seriously not the first time this has happened. I don't know why she's getting so much backlash for it. Like, okay, I understand the backlash, but people are acting as if she's the only one who says this, when if you go to TikTok or Twitter, which thank God I don't use Twitter, but if you go to any of these platforms, you see thousands, millions of people just like her who complain about this dumbass shit and who say this nonsense all the time. So she's not the only one who says this. There's a massive amount of tourists recently joining the gacha space because, I don't know, they saw it somewhere and then they joined the fandom and started playing the game despite not being the target audience for it at all. And another weird part about this whole thing is that I only see this tourist behavior in the gacha space. In any other video game community, like if you were to go into any other community of any other game that is not a gacha game, you don't see this weird tourist behavior, right? People who play this game don't complain about the game doing what it's supposed to do, right? And new people, instead of complaining about the game's identity, they just ask questions like a normal person, and if they don't like it, they just play something else. But for some reason, now, when it comes to the gacha space, they play a game that is not meant for them and start complaining about the fact that they are not the target audience. I don't know what it is, but it needs to stop. But yeah, man, I think I'm just gonna stop here. I just really cherry picked a lot of points that I wanted to react to, because this is 55 minutes long, okay? And there's a lot of things she says in this video that I actually do agree with, like with Natlan and Dutore. Like, some of the things she says, apart from the fan service stuff, are actually pretty valid and it's solid criticism. But this whole fan service section about Linnea and everything, this is like the one thing that I wanted to talk about in this video, because this is just a perfect example of the people that are starting to become a part of the Genshin fandom more and more. But as I said, do not harass this person, please. She has enough to deal with. Leave her alone. Let me know if you guys agree with this video or not. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about this down below in the comments. And with that being said, as always, I wish everyone a nice and wonderful day.